Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is some of the basic equipment you might need if you are arriving to the Fort Wainwright Eielson Air Force Base, otherwise Central Alaska, for your vehicle, especially for the winter. Some of the stuff you can keep in there for summer, but this is particular for winter. So along with ensuring that your vehicle is properly winterized, so fluids and such, you want to get proper tires, so whether they're the Blizzaks, some kind of winter tire, or studded tires, doesn't matter, just a proper winterized tire, or chains if you prefer to have that, but a winter tire is advisable. Even with all those precautions that you have in your vehicle, there's a good possibility that you're going to get stuck, slip onto the side of the road, get into a ditch, what have you. Doesn't matter if you're driving a little compact car or a full-size pickup. I've seen them all get stuck on the side of the road in a ditch. So some very basic, relatively inexpensive tools that you should keep in your vehicle, and regardless of size, are these. So proper says tow straps. Again, this is for a full-size pickup truck. If you drive a little car, get the one that's more appropriate for your size. Okay. Booster cables, jumper cables, whatever term you want to use. A good set of these. Again, keep them in your trunk, your bed of your truck, back seat, where have you. In case you do get into an accident or anything, to advise other drivers, a good set of flares. If you can't find flares in your area, chances are you'll be able to get them when you get up here. They're pretty cheap, about less than $1 a piece. And how many you need, that's your discretion, but have a few, I would recommend. Another thing that would be advisable, especially during the winter, it's almost as if the darkness absorbs all light, so it doesn't matter if you have a flashlight or not, but having a high visibility vest, PT belt, whatever you wish to have, just something that lights up. A headlamp also would be good, or a handheld flashlight. I prefer headlamp just because if I'm working on something, I have my hands free. Another good thing, either you can buy one of these shovels or a shovel like this. You don't have to buy this model exactly, but something similar to this, or if you have an e-tool, if you want to carry your e-tool on you, but something preferably nice wide base to shovel out the snow. If you're mechanically inclined, yeah, have a toolkit. I'm not, but I do always keep a multi-tool of some variants on me and in my truck. So those are the basic vehicle recovery items you should have. There are plenty of other things you can get, tire pumps, you can get full toolkits, so on and so forth. But again, this is something that's just very basic that you can fit whether you have a small compact car or a full-size truck. Next, we'll go on to some emergency items to have in your vehicle. Now onto your emergency survival kit. Again, this is just the basics. It's not anything extensive. If you're a hunter or an adventurer, you might need something far more extensive than this. This is just something to keep in your vehicle for emergencies. So first thing, a medical kit. You can go with something very similar to the IFAC that you might have been issued. I recommend not keeping your actual issued gear in your vehicle. But if you want to make your own, something with Israeli bandages, hemostatic agents, or if you want to go, this is a AR 500 trauma kit. Not horribly expensive, but it comes with tourniquet, hemostatic agent, bandages, so on and so forth. They make bigger ones that have chest seals if you're expecting to run into that kind of issue. But you can make your own, and I would also include like a boo-boo kit too, because that's probably more prevalent. Or you can buy your own. These adventure medical kits vary in price because they also vary in size and the extensiveness of your injuries. But a good basic one should be appropriate. Other good things to have would be cold weather gear. So again, you might be stuck for a few hours or you might be stuck for a little bit longer. Depends on where you are and if you were smart enough to let someone know where you're going. So I would recommend you can get these space blankets. They're about less than $1 for a single one. You can get a bunch of these. You can get one of these SOL Escape bivvies or other bivvy sacks that they make. These are really good, or at least they have really good reviews. This one can be reused, so if you used it once, you can use it twice or thrice. A little bit more pricey, but not horribly expensive. In all honesty, the best thing to do is to have cold weather clothing. This is a Carhartt. You don't have to buy a Carhartt. Some people don't like the fashion of it. Go with Arc'teryx. Go with North Face. Go with Outdoor Research. All of them make really good quality. Most of them have some really good warranties on them, and also most of them have a military discount. Again, You're military, we don't make that much money. Ask for military discounts, chances are you'll get something. If anything, a one-time code, typically. You don't need to go and have a full MRE. I have MREs because I actually go out for quite a long period of time. I do camping and hiking and such. My soldier carries Mountain House. Both are good. Both will keep you safe and filled with calories. If anything, Cliff Bars, Snicker bars, M&Ms, snacks. Especially if all you're doing is just driving around town, you might just go to Chino Hot Springs for a day. Snacks are fine. During the summer, I would recommend a couple bottles of water, up to maybe a gallon. I carry usually about a gallon of water in my vehicle. During the winter, again, it gets to about -50 at the worst, but average definitely below 32 degrees. So your water will freeze. I recommend bottle, whether it's a steel or an Nalgene like this, and possibly a steel cup, so that you can gather snow, and with the help of a stove of some kind, you might be able to warm it up. I'll demonstrate this little bad boy in a few minutes. But you can buy your sterno stoves or those Esbit emergency stoves. Those run about $10, $12 on Amazon, or you can make your own, which I'll demonstrate in a minute. Again, multi-tool, cutting tool. I recommend Gerber or Leatherman, and honestly, those are my two favorites. And it doesn't have to be a crazy military spec one like this. It can be a civilianized version. This is possibly the cheapest one that Gerber makes. It'll work. Okay, we're not trying to go into straight up combat mode and have a whole bunch of high-tech gear. Keep it simple, stupid. Or keep a fixed blade knife, folding knife, again, Benchmade, Gerber, other knives that have good reputations. I also recommend either hand heaters, feet warmers. They also make body heaters so that you can put them inside your jacket. That'll help keep you warm as well. These ones last for about 8 hours. Most of them last about 6 to 8 hours. Have a couple of those. Vehicles flip out here, and I'm not talking about little compact cars. I'm talking about full-size trucks. I've seen Hummers on their roofs, so you might need an emergency egress kit. These will rescue me's or something similar. I know Benchmade makes a couple of things, and I think Gerber does as well. But these, very cheap. It comes with a seatbelt cutter, as well as a glass punch. And well, it's really hard. That's probably a good thing. But there's a number of videos of these being used out there, so they do work. So just for your entertainment value, this is a homemade sterno stove. All it is filled with 70% isopropyl alcohol. And again, same kind of stuff that would be used in this. You want either, preferably, both matches and a lighter, because these lighters in -30 degrees will not work at times. You might have to put them in your jacket just to keep them warm. Now, if you're a smoker, chances are it's warm anyways. But all this is TP with the cardboard removed in a 1 ounce paint can that had no paint in it. It's a clean can. You fill it up with the alcohol, and then you light this bad boy up. Try not to catch yourself on fire. And you now have a sterno stove that's refillable that you can use for camping, emergencies in your house, so on and so forth. So there you go, everyone. Be safe.